for tuning into Creative Habits Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, and I'll let her introduce herself. Tell me about yourself and what's your story?
My name is Shingi Rice. I am London born and partially raised because I then moved to Spain at the age of 10. I've been raised by a Zimbabwean mother and an Irish father. I am a photographer, sometimes stylist, trying to be a vegan food inspirer or influencer. And I moved back to London 6 years ago, this month, sorry. And just to pursue my photography passion. And yeah, I've been doing that since then, basically, working hard in the industry.
What are your current projects? What are you working on?
Well, I haven't been able to work on them, obviously, due to COVID. There is one project I've been working on for quite a while now called Invisible, which is focused on documenting people with invisible and visible disabilities. But I would say that an ongoing project will be representation of real people in the media and in fashion, because I find that the media doesn't do it properly in terms of representing, let's say, Black women, plus size models, male and female, mature models, like I said, people with disabilities, etc.
Yeah, that's definitely really important because I feel like we're now in a day and age where we just want to accept real things and real bodies and real people, as opposed to just like a one-sided beauty standard.
Right.
I think we're all unique in different ways, and I think that's really special that you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, do you believe that you're currently living your life's purpose or still searching?
I believe I am.
Mm-hmm.
The word purpose has really been the word of the moment lately. I've been asked this question a lot, be it via friends or family, and even like an app called The Pattern. I feel like I am. Yeah.
Well, I love The Pattern, actually, especially just their, what is it? The horoscope signs and the, what is it? I forget what they're called, but just like their weekly horoscope information that they just share is like spot on.
It's really raw. I remember first downloading it and thinking, what's an app going to know about me? And it knows way too much information than I expected, yeah.
So as a fellow Zimbabwean, I wanted to know, just out of curiosity, what is your family totem?
I believe it's the monkey.
Really?
I think it is. Now, I say think because I'm not 100% sure, but you said that came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I will get back to you on that.
Yeah, well, mine is the crocodile. And I just out of curiosity, I just love knowing from other Zimbabweans, like what their family totem is.
It's very weird because I'm very into monkeys as well.
Yeah.
Like a spiritual animal. So yeah.
Fascinating. Have you always known that you'd pursue a career in the arts?
Kind of, yeah. I want to say from my mid to late teens, I kind of knew that I would never work in a standard job, so to say. I remember from a very young age saying to my mom, I don't want to work in an office. And I've been someone that's very interested in, say, psychology or journalism, but I still didn't think it was my right path. And I kind of found that out in 2013, where I needed to be, which was in the arts, basically.
What did your journey look like as an artist? For instance, did you go to an art school? Did you have any formal training? What other things as an artist do you do? Because I know a lot of artists that just say, oh, I'm a painter or a photographer, but there's so much more creative things that we involve ourselves in. So can you share a little bit about that?
So for me, I've always been into illustration for a very long time. And in secondary school, I used to be in boarding school, and then I went to renting flats, and I always used to be surrounded by people who went to art school, which is higher up than where I was. And then when it was my turn to go to art college, so in Spain, you have say 9 to 10 subjects, and you will follow the same curriculum, but then you have a specific subjects that are specifically for the career you're choosing. So I chose art and design. And I think within, baccalaureate, I kind of knew which path I wanted, and it was fashion, but I wasn't sure which side of fashion, whether it was styling, fashion design, or photography. At the time, it was more so design because I was very much into illustration still. But then I got into photography when I was around, well, I started cleaning my parents' cameras at like 13, 14 years old. MySpace was a very big thing back then, and I was photographing anything and everything. And it got to a point where one of my parents' friends was like, she needs to focus on a certain topic, not just everything. And I thought, well, I love fashion and people. I love drawing fashion and people, so I'm going to put the two things together. And it was around then that, I knew it was going to be either styling or fashion photography, and moving back to the UK kind of defined that part.
So I've read in your bio that you had an educational background for the University of Arts London. What school specifically did you go to? I also had a semester at University of Arts London, the Chelsea College of Art and Design, but I'm just curious to know, like, which one was your school?
I went to LCF, London College of Fashion. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
In campus. I mean, so much right now, but it's fine.
Yeah. That's great. So what was your first experience with a photography gig? How did you obtain that opportunity? And what was that first experience like?
Like my own personal project, or like an opportunity?
An opportunity, and then your personal project for the second.
I think for me, my first personal project was documenting more people like myself, because having grown up in Spain, I was surrounded by a lot of white people, and I didn't see much of, my own like representation. And coming back here, I really wanted to document that. So I would say that my first project was around that. My first opportunity, I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure it was like an independent brand, and very small pay at the time. But I feel like for me, it was something very exciting to do. Having your work being recognized by people, and at the time I wasn't very like, why are these people hiring me? Like, what do they see that I can't see, kind of thing. Yeah.
Have you ever met any of your heroes?
I don't know. No.
If there was somebody that you would meet for coffee that you would really like to get to know, who would it be?
Wow. I feel like this is the kind of question where you know the answer to, but when you ask it, it's like, oh my God, I don't know. Very good question. I feel like from things I'm reading lately, I would say people like Erykah Badu or Maya Angelou, people that whose words have inspired me.
Yeah.
Even Morgan Freeman, like to pick their brains and like see like just their perspective on life and
definitely
everything and anything, basically. Yeah.
What do you think the driving force is in your life?
Painful situations. I feel like I'm now learning, I recently started reading a book called Energy Codes, and it's basically changed my perspective of seeing bad circumstances, and basically seeing that those situations are just there to serve, to benefit us, basically, to like serve our higher self. So I think what drives me is complex situations.
Yeah.
That will help me grow. Yeah.
So just talking about complex situations, I know that a lot of artists have challenges with self-doubt. And I wanted to know what your advice is for anyone that wants to pursue a career in the arts, wants to become a photographer, is a photographer, but is questioning and doubting their talent. What advice would you have?
I think put all the focus that you're putting into looking at somebody else's work on your own, because I feel like society kind of pushes this idea that there's competition, that we have to be better than the next person. But if anything, we have to be better than who we were yesterday and before that. Yeah. And I think once we start to understand that the only competition at the end of the day is ourselves, like our past self, like building up to be greater, then I feel like you can embody that and produce amazing work and gain more confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nicely said and so important. I feel like the moment that you stop looking outside of yourself, you really get in tune with what you're trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
and more ideas come out without
Mm-hmm.
feeling any sort of pressure from the outside. But I think that's when we produce our great work, is
Mm-hmm.
when we kind of just shut out questioning ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What feels like love to you?
Ooh. Warmth, compassion, respect, understanding, or comprehension.
Yeah.
I feel like when you see yourself in others, but in a positive light, that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself an extrovert or an introvert?
So there's my annoying cat behind me.
We love
I would
cats.
say, so to be very honest with you, I've always seen myself as an extrovert, but
Mm.
I'm now learning that I could be an introvert that's only extrovert in certain circumstances.
What
Yeah.
example would that be like?
I feel like when I feel welcomed or when I
Mm.
feel seen, but not seen in like an attention-seeking kind of way, but when somebody can understand the energy that I am bringing towards the room or the situation.
Yeah, definitely. How many cameras do you have?
I've got one digital camera, and I've probably got, I don't know how many film cameras I've got. Too many.
Yeah.
I don't know, 10 or 11. I just got
Yeah.
a huge bulk from eBay one time.
What
Yeah.
kind of cameras do you work with?
So I work on a Canon 60
Mm-hmm.
mainly and only for the past 3 years, like since I got it. But I also have a Canon 50D film
Mm.
and a Pentax K1000, I think it is. Yeah,
Nice.
those are like the three main ones. The rest are just there.
Yeah. Have you had any international opportunities?
Kind of. I say kind of in the sense that I went to the States 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was kind of like a documentary kind of trip. But for my actual job, not yet. I'm excited for that.
Oh, nice. What part of the States did you go to?
We started in DC and Washington, DC. We went to St. Louis or St. Louis,
Mm.
and then we went to San Diego, then San Francisco, and then I ended up in Los Angeles just to end off the trip.
Nice.
Documenting American values. It was
Mm.
a very interesting trip.
Pretty nice. What was interesting about it?
Well, the fact that it was called Documenting American Values, and we started in DC, and I'm very sensitive to a lot of things. And one thing I didn't expect to see in the capital of the States was so much homelessness of Black
Mm.
men. Because here in the UK, you see so many homeless people, but you see white women, white men. You rarely see people of color. You still do, but it's more white people. But in America, it just, to me, I know
Yeah.
that America does not like Black people. That's what I got, basically.
Mm. Yeah.
In every state. Yeah.
Yeah.
That we went to.
Yeah. So, yeah, DC is pretty much going through and has been going through for the past 10 years. And I think majority of cities, like large cities, go through gentrification. And I
Uh-huh.
think that's the number one thing that kind of drives people into homelessness, because they literally cannot afford these high prices and
Right.
situations that put them in that position. But yeah, DC is going through it.
It was intense. It was intense. I learned a lot about the gentrification when we went to San Francisco.
Mm,
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
So are you a starter or a finisher?
I'm a starter, sometimes a finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to travel anywhere, where would it be and
I
why?
really want to go to South America and Asia,
Mm.
two continents where I've not been to yet.
Do you know specifically where, or just anywhere?
I really want to go to Bolivia,
Mm.
Argentina, Brazil a lot. And in Asia, well, I want to go to everywhere, but those are like my top places, Colombia as well. And Asia, I really want to go to like the Philippines, Vietnam,
Mm.
Thailand. Yeah, I've heard so many good things about Vietnam.
As a Black woman photographer, what do you believe is important to you? Like, what's your mission as a female photographer?
I just want us to be as respected as a white male photographer. That's all I want.
Mm,
I want us to be
yeah.
respected on the same level as them. I don't know how many times I've walked into a photo shoot and people thought I'm the help or the assistant or somebody else. I'm like, no, I'm the photographer.
Yeah.
Respect and the correct recognition. Yeah.
Respect. Yeah. So 2020 has been very interesting for all of us. What has your perspective been and how have you been feeling?
So I don't know if it happened to you, but I realized how so many people last year were saying 2020 was going to be their year. But I feel like people don't still see that it still can be.
Mm,
I see it as a time for growth and reflection because I think that we looked at it more as a opportunities, money kind of thing.
yeah.
But I see it as a personal growth, ascension, self-actualization point of view.
Mm,
Um, so that's my perspective of it. And I feel mixed emotions, but I'm trying to follow the light a lot more than the darkness because it's very easy to this year.
yeah. I mean, 2020 has really humbled me. It's slowed me down. It's allowed me to just kind of work on myself and
Yes.
some projects that I didn't have an opportunity to work on.
Oh, I feel like I closed it by accident, but no, I haven't. Sorry.
Okay. So what's next for you? What projects are you thinking about working on, if you don't mind sharing?
So I am working with a a pretty known, I want to say online publication,
Mm-hmm.
representing female subjects. I've got some shoots coming up with a Zimbabwean musician as
Oh,
well.
nice.
What else? I've got another shoot coming up with an online clothing platform as well. It's looking up because beginning of the year was looking the complete opposite, and now
Mm,
it's kind of coming back again, which I'm very grateful for.
that's lovely. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
So there are a lot of people that kind of have mixed feelings about pursuing an education in the arts. Do you think it's important for someone to go to college or get some sort of formal training to pursue a career in the arts?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think for me, I only went to university because I knew it was going to look good on my CV as a Black creator.
Yeah.
And also, I wasn't too sure of the direction I was going to take because before uni, I did a foundation course, which kind of helps with the path to take. I know so many people that are very successful and they didn't go to university. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
self-taught, but I feel going to uni kind of connected the dots more.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think the answer kind of lies within each person, but I don't necessarily think you have to go to uni. It's a waste of money, in my opinion.
How important is networking?
Sorry?
How important is networking?
I think it is important, but I haven't done a lot of it. And
Mm,
I've still done things. I don't like going to events. I really don't like it because it's very much, what do you do? Who are you? Kind of thing. I'm just like,
yeah,
I like to meet people for who they are and for what they do.
that's so true.
So it's important, but I feel like when you connect with the right people, it's fine.
So do you feel that you can navigate your way in like a creative industry without doing a lot of networking?
I think it's an important thing to do. I feel like if you come
Mm,
from a background where you don't have a lot of like connections, I know people are born into the industry already, like their family already in it, and it's going to be much easier. But for somebody like myself, and also having moved to a different country or moved back, sorry, I feel like in the beginning it's good to connect with people. But I
mm,
feel like once you start creating and your name kind of gets out there, I feel like people kind of navigate towards you more than the other way around. That's kind of been my experience, I feel.
that's
Yeah.
great. What kind of music do you listen to?
So I started listening to this group whose name I can never pronounce, but it's like a lot of bass guitar, very like chilled music,
Mm-hmm.
less lyrics, more instrumental.
Mm.
What I've been listening to, yeah.
Do you enjoy any type of music, or is there a specific genre of music that you prefer?
I like any type. I can listen to anything, but well, not anything. I can't listen to like hardcore metal or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot of like neo soul, dub, reggae, 90s rap, jazz.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
What type of artists inspire you?
Um, I really like looking into like old fashioned photographers.
Mm.
I feel like they're the creators of that. People like Norman Parkinson or Ivan Peng are like very old school photographers.
Mm.
And even like present day photographers like Campbell Addy or Nadine Joy, I always mention them in every interview that I do because they're black photographers from London and their work is really out there. Um, yeah, yeah.
Nice. Let me think. I think so, Brian. I have a question. Just 1 second. This will all be cut. What's your favorite color?
Ooh, I like red a lot. I'm not sure if that's because I'm an Aries, but I like red a lot.
Does
Yeah.
does that color appear in your work?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I would say so. I like vibrant colors in my work. I know my name is Bluespit. I do like blue a lot, but I kind of try to navigate a little bit. I like, oranges, reds, yellows, green a
Yeah.
lot, but yeah.
I see a lot of that in your work too. I love that it's so bright, vibrant, because I also feel like you capture a lot of people of color,
Mhm.
and we are vibrant people, so it kind of it works. It looks beautiful,
Thank you. I
and I
like to
think I think
Sorry.
it's a great representation of like our spirit and just who we are.
100%. Yeah, I
Mm.
like to capture of movement and color. Yeah, yeah.
So, how would you describe your creative process?
I like to cram a lot of ideas together
Mm.
and kind of dissect what I actually really want to, what message I'm trying to put across. Because I find that I'm starting to realize with my photography, if there's no real message behind my work, what am I really trying to say?
Yeah.
Not meaning that a standard photo shoot is not amazing, but I really want to try and put a message across with my work. Even if the model's wearing an amazing gown, I really want there to be a message behind it.
Mm.
And then obviously like scouting people that can be part of that project, be a makeup artist, a stylist, hairstylist, someone that can represent the idea in itself. Yeah.
For your personal projects, do you collaborate with other artists?
I do, yeah.
Mm. And
Makeup artists mainly. The stylist, of course.
how, as a photographer, do you find a makeup stylist or a makeup artist, excuse me?
How do I find them?
Yes, or how do you collaborate with other artists?
Facebook groups or
Mm.
Instagram. Yeah. Initially it was through university because there's also like makeup courses and hair courses there. So I got
Mm.
to collaborate with people whilst I was there. And funny enough, one of the first makeup artists I worked with, I still work with her to this day.
Yeah. I think a lot of connections I've made have been on social media as well, just
Mm-hmm.
creatively. It's a great, source of finding a lot of people that are similar to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I also wanted to just ask, what would be your ideal opportunity, or what is something that you're looking forward to pursuing in the future?
I know this is so cliche and I say it so much, but I really can't wait to photograph people like Rihanna or Willow Smith
Mm.
or Erica Badu and like the greats basically,
Yeah.
and like Viola Davis is like somebody who I would love to photograph. Inspiring and powerful woman, you
Lovely. I
know?
love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you think you would do differently in your journey?
Not overthink things.
Mm.
I think I did that a lot in the beginning. Like, think, why am I
Mm.
not getting this? And I think, but wait, you're still at university, or wait, you're still this age. It's a process. It takes
Mm.
time. I think social media kind of interrupts that because you're focusing so much on what the other person's doing and thinking, but we did the same thing at the same time. Why am I not getting this right now, like you are?
Yeah.
But I think the overthinking and kind of like being patient and respecting your own process, something that, you know, I wish I'd done a bit more of. And now I'm doing a lot more of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. Like overthinking, I think I do the same, but that's really nice.
Yeah, meditation has
So,
helped.
yeah. What is your experience with meditation?
I have a very monkey mind. Well, I had a very monkey mind.
Mm.
And I think the more I've been patient with myself and the more in silence that I've been, it's helped. I think
Mm.
we have this idea that your brain is meant to stop thinking, but it's not really the case. I think when we recognize a thought and then let it go, it's more that kind of process.
Mm.
Yeah.
What is your meditation process like? Do you listen to music or is it just complete silence?
So sometimes I'll listen to like solfeggio frequencies, or I'll listen to a guided meditation on YouTube or on an app called Insight Timer.
Mm.
Or sometimes I'll just be in silence, which is very rare, but sometimes, yeah.
Would you consider meditation to be a form of self-care?
100%.
And does that inspire your work at all?
Meditation inspire my work.
As in, like, do you come up with ideas or
No,
think of?
I don't. But I feel
Yeah.
like that's something I should probably take into account for the near future. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, how can we keep in touch with you and your journey? What are some ways that we can see what you're doing?
So my main Instagram is bluespit, where I
Mm-hmm.
share all my photography, my work. And then my personal account is Spit Blue, where I share a lot of my personal growth, my vegan recipes, and behind the scenes of my shoots as well. And my website is bluespit.net. And my
Lovely.
it's also bluespit. Everything's bluespit.
So your recipes, you enjoy cooking?
Yes, I love cooking. I love
Wow,
cooking a lot. Yeah.
that's amazing.
I actually was meant to release a cookbook this summer, but my MacBook was not allowing it. So hopefully
Mm,
in the next few months, I'll be able to buy a new computer and make a cookbook and release that.
please do. My
Yes.
partner and I started cooking just during the quarantine. We used to like buy takeout or just not cook enough. So please do. We'd love to
And
try.
then the steak is very expensive though, so takeaway is kind of much cheaper at the end of the day. I
Mm-hmm.
found in LA anyway.
Hmm.
Not sure about everywhere else, but
Yeah,
grocery shopping is so expensive in the States.
it's really expensive, but we're trying to, continue with our health journey and just
Yeah.
eat from home and make sure, we know what we're putting in our bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been so lovely speaking with you.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll cut there. And if you can send me all of your information, I have your Instagram, your website. I saw one online, but I wasn't sure. There was like a section for artwork, but it wasn't working. As in, if
Oh,
someone wanted to
yeah.
buy prints.
I think now on my Instagram, it just shows like the link to my website straight away, bluespit.net.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is now.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.